people for so long have been using the ocean as a dumping ground for all of their garbage. With all of the governmental talk about stopping pollution of the air and pollution of the waters, the government now turns out to be one of the great polluters of all times by dumping enormous quantities of deadly GB and smaller agents, smaller quantities of an even more deadly agent, the VX gas. I think these concrete coffins, it's possible that they could perhaps withstand the pressures until they reach the bottom of the sea, which is about 16,000 feet. I think there is also a finite probability or possibility that these coffins might conceivably explode or implode just a few feet below the surface. And I think herein lies the very real danger. If these materials if these coffins should either at sea level or slightly below sea level explode or implode all of a sudden, releasing several hundred tons of this agent into the atmosphere. I think herein lies the real difficulty and the real problems. Well, I think the most critical part of the operation will be about the first, perhaps, hour. I think if the caskets can survive so that they can ever reach the bottom, if this is true, then quite probably the ocean will neutralize the GB as these things are eroded away. I think the dangerous part is in the first 30 minutes to an hour as these coffins are being scuttled, or the ship is being scuttled. As the material drops, and suppose that it drops 10 feet or 20 feet or 200 feet, in which, and then let's say that chain explosions are set up by the rocket fuel inside of the containers. And then if the stuff is released within the first 200 or 300 feet of under the ocean surface, then I think there's a very real danger that this stuff can be exhausted into the atmosphere and then carried by the winds.